Hello and welcome to my home. My name is Lisa and today is Thursday and today I will be talking about vampires. Now, tomorrow I will be talking about the most famous vampire, but there's also vampires throughout history like Lestat, uh, vampires that you probably never heard of like the Vampire of London, and there's people who actually practice vampirism. Now, I'm not talking about they turn into bats, but they do drink blood. And when you think about it, people who suffer from anemia, they suffer from a blood disorder or a blood deficiency, and they need blood. So they need to make more blood because somehow their body's losing blood. Um, so they either have to take iron pills like I do. I have to take iron pills and to produce more blood. Um, let's see, there's a lot of diseases about the blood that people need blood transfusions or they have to take medicine for it. But yeah, if you think about vampirism, the one in London was kind of interesting. They actually had a bunch of children thinking that there's vampires in the cemetery, and they actually stayed in the cemetery looking for this vampire. Now, to hear of that, the, the vampire of London is the Highgate vampire. Now, the Highgate vampire was a media sensation surrounding reports of supposedly a supernatural activity at the Highgate Cemetery in London, England, United Kingdom, in the 1970s. Now, this mostly throughout the count of the story was given by the folklorist, and of course was published in 1937. Now, the mob in 1970 heard the ensuing publicity was enhanced by the mob, growing interest in this thing now between Farrant and Manchester, each claiming that he could and would expel and destroy the specter, the vampire. Now, Manchester would expect to destroy this, declared he would hold an exorcism on Friday the 13th at March 1970. He conducted interviews with Manchester, Farrant, and others who claimed to have seen supernatural figures in the cemetery, now which were transmitted earlier on the evening of the 13th. Within 2 hours of the mob of hunters from all over London and beyond swarmed over gates and walls onto the locked cemetery despite the police's efforts to control them. Of course, they didn't find anything. Some months later, on August 1st, 1970, the charred and headless remains of a woman's body was found not too far from the catacombs. The police suspected that it had been used in black magic. Farrant was found by the police in the churchyard beside the cemetery one night in August carrying a crucifix and a wooden stake. He was arrested, but when the case came to court, it was dismissed. Okay, Manchester came back to the Highgate Cemetery. He claimed that this time he and his companions would force open the door of the family vault. Now, there was a family vault, of course, and he said he lifted the coffin, believing it had been mysteriously transferred there from the previous catacomb. He was about to drive a stake into the man's heart through the body it contained when a companion persuaded him to desist. Reluctantly, he shut the coffin, leaving garlic and incense on the vault. Now, why? Why would his companions like, no, don't do it? But that's that. That's one. There's also one that about a teenage vampire that stalks her victims in cemeteries and stuff, grieving and stuff. And she actually cuts them or I don't know if she bites them, but I think she just cuts them and drinks their blood. Now, who hasn't cut their finger or poked their finger and went like this automatically? I do it all the time. I poke my finger to test my blood sugar, and first thing I do is poke it, get the reading, and then go like this automatically and suck their finger of their blood. It's your blood, right? So I don't know. That's kind of, I guess I would say, vampirism. I guess. Some days I feel like a vampire. Some days I feel like I sleep all day and then wake up, stay up all night. I mean, we've all had those days and those nights before, but, and the sun. I'm allergic to sun because I take a lot of vitamin D to help my bones and my immunity system. And so when I go outside, certain medications that I do take make me allergic to sun. That's why I'm so pale. But yeah, could we all be a little bit of vampire in us? We need, like I said, there's illnesses that need blood transfusions. They're hemophiliacs that bleed and constantly bleed till they die. You know, if they get a cut or a scratch, you know, I think that's the right name for it. But there are certain blood diseases, there are certain types of illnesses that need blood transfusions and things like that. So are we part vampire? Do we need this in our bodies? Yes, we need blood in our bodies to keep us alive. We need blood to heal us, take nutrients throughout our bodies. So, of course, that could be a part of life. So, and there was the most famous vampire of all, Dracula, who was a real man. And I will be telling you more about that tomorrow on Fear Friday. So please like and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you'll know when the next video comes out. Please share some kindness and shine your inner light for those in the dark, because there are so many that need it. Peace.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So here's a Q&A video.